My name's Casey Francis O'Brien. I live outside. I have a lot more trauma than most people I know. I love being outside. I'm in a war zone. The police are abusers that rape minors and get off with 30 days. They abuse their power to hurt people. I live in a rural white America up in Vermont where they rally together to beat the fuck out of homeless people just because they can. Because who's going to stop them? Because they've all convinced themselves that it's okay to. So I just wanted to show you what I do on a daily basis, pretty much. Now, this is not what I would normally do because I feel like it's rude. But people are, everybody's pocket watching. Like, what the fuck do you do with your money? POV, you're a bear man out in the Arctic. War zone. Yo, bro, I have a blanket for you. I'm gonna check to see if you're alive real quick. Don't shoot me. Yo. Yo, bro. Yo. I'm not a cop. I have a blanket for you. If you want it. I can't see it all. Okay, are you alive? Yeah. Alright, what's up, bro? I live down the road in the woods. I just, if you want this, I just have to come back and get it at 6, but if you want sleeping bag, it's up to you. What's up? Shit. What's up? It's cold as fuck, bro. I'm watching Conor McGregor fights down the road. But I saw you. I didn't know if you had a bag. I got you this bag. Shit. I don't think people will buy this shit. No, I don't have any cigarettes. I left my cigarettes in the fucking tent. Alright. I have, if you're gonna, I don't know how cold it's gonna be. I'm over at MSI and I have a heater running. I wanted to give you this blanket and then come back at 6. And if you're gonna die out, or you can tell me to fuck off, I don't care. He slumped. You're good. I just want to know if you want. I'm gonna leave the blanket. I'll come back at 6. But if you take the blanket, I will die out here. But I don't want you to die. It's up to you. And then, if you want to, man, I'll come back in a bit. If you want me to buy you a heater, bro, so you can, it's like $20. so that if you're out here, you can go to the that amphitheater place that has an outlet. Let me know in the morning. I got you. No, I'm a autistic homeless man. He probably thinks I'm a fucking robot. No, if he takes that, he's on drugs. Or else I would have done a street. If he was more conscious, but he couldn't even speak. He tried to get up and he fell over. If he was more conscious, I would have done a street interview. And we could say fuck the police together. But if he takes that blanket, I'm out. I'm gonna die out here. I don't have access to sleeping bags. But I have access to a heater. And he doesn't. So I offered to buy him a heater in the morning. It's like I have $80, and I'll give that shit to him. It seems like he's like 35, which means he's probably a pedophile and a creep and a crackhead. But the way he was before, it looked like he was my age. Which doesn't really matter. But it's gonna be like below freezing. And that dude was curled up out in the snow. So I gave him my only blanket. And I told him, if you take it, I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna come back at 6. Which I've been sort of close to his position, where I have nothing at all. I've been worse than where he's at. I didn't have a bike or a coat or boots, and I was slumped out there, but I wasn't on drugs. So I know what it's like to be woken up with a flashlight, and then some guy you can't see is talking to you. But when the camera's on, I feel locked out of myself. Plus, there's a whole lot of spell work going on in the Matrix. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go back. I don't have anything I can smoke. He had a vape. Usually I have cigarettes, and I would give them smokes. I'd give them like 3 smokes. Get them through the night. But I'm out. I need one of those plastic boxes to put the cigarette filters in, or else the cigarette filters break. I've got like a couple handfuls of tobacco left. I'm feeling so that guy has a bunch of relationships. He's in a network of homeless people. I'm an empath, so I'm picking up on all of it, sort of like it's trying to plug itself into me. I prefer the crackheads over the cops. Because the crackheads are deluded by a drug that's possessing them, so they're stuck in suffering. The police are deluded by a lie about authority. So there's no authenticity from them. So I'd rather hang out with the junkies and the crackheads, because you're actually talking to a person instead of just like a made up set of rules designed to hold a commanding presence over you, playing a stupid game they don't even understand. You'll be the one that needs to praise of God. I'll be the one to save them. Bro, I don't even I'm from Brattleboro. If you look at a map, I'm like 200 miles away from my hometown. And that's one of the if you think this is crazy, you have no idea how crazy it gets down there. They're some of the stupidest people I've seen in my life, but they all have this creative sense of entitlement. On both sides, they can't see their hypocrisy, and they just lash out at each other all day. Right now, they're arguing every single day about setting a community ordinance, which means that there will be a law about how to behave downtown, which means, you can't scream at each other, you can't spit on the ground in public places, you can't violate certain things, and you have to maintain order in downtown so that the tourists can come through, and it's to target the homeless people that are screaming at each other and barking and following people around, talking shit, mad at how delusional and crazy the privileged Vermonters are, and then leaving their needles everywhere. So the Vermonters, who are just as crazy as the crackheads, are now rallying together to set laws to make them behave, called a community ordinance. And the people that work for the Vermont Select Board overruled it, saying, that's obviously used to create division. That's obviously something that you made so that you can exploit it because you don't like the homeless people, under the guise of stopping the heroin, when in reality, they know it's not okay to dump your needles on the sidewalk. They already know they're doing it against the law. When you make a community ordinance, so when you come into the town, a cop comes up and tells you, you can't do that. It's just going to be a lot of we know, but the cop's going to take advantage of it to play power games to cause the homeless people to feel less safe and less together, which will drive them further into this madness of fighting to hold on to themselves. Where that's solved by being out, sitting alone, and being at peace where nobody's bothering you. But they put needles in their arm and they throw the needles on the ground, is the problem. The community ordinance is not going to solve them breaking into houses and fighting people. They're just worried about the needles on the ground, but they're making this giant community ordinance about community behavior so that there's in their minds, there's a big rule set over the town so that when somebody violates the rules, like a homeless guy standing there like this, they all can call the guy down the street with the gun and the qualified immunity to go bark and attack the guy that they don't like. So there's an entire half the town, including a guy that has YouTube subscribers that are over. So he goes downtown and records people in their worst moments, screaming at the camera and getting arrested, getting violated by police that abuse them and pick them up and whip them on the ground and cuffing them. And then there's a guy named Hank that just takes his phone and records them. And he gets a lot of money to do that. He's got half the town sponsoring him, paying him probably close to 10K a month to go downtown and record homeless people getting taken advantage of by a system because they're trapped in trauma. And that makes me very upset and angry. That makes me want to kill people. So I can't imagine how it makes people that are experiencing it. I've definitely been a victim of people that lie because they don't like how my hair is. I've had people lie to the police that I tried to kill them, hoping the cops would show up and kill me. And she manages the barn in Randolph. It's a gas station. She told them I threatened to kill them with a hatchet, and when the police showed up, I didn't even have a hatchet on me. What happened was, a week prior, we had that eclipse, and everywhere on Facebook it's saying that they're going to start launching missiles during the eclipse. And they showed a lot of proof, and then that proof turned out to be true. As soon as the eclipse happened, there was a lot of stuff in Antarctica that got launched through the water that caused tsunamis and hurricanes that lasted all year, by the way. So I was right in that assumption, but I was also worried that how bad is it going to be? So I was broke and I was living in Sub-Zero, and I walked into the barn a week before, right before the eclipse. It was busy as hell, and I said, hey, the eclipse is happening tomorrow. People are saying the world's going to end. How much is a fountain soda? $1.50? Okay, I'm going to go take one and I'm going to leave. And then in a week, if I have the money, I'm going to come back and I'll pay for it. So I took a soda, and then cops screaming at me, old managers screaming at me for a week straight. I went back in a week later to get a little water, assuming that they had just gotten over it. And she called the police and said that I tried to kill her with a hatchet when she whipped a trash bag at my face, stormed away, stormed back while I was filling up water and says, are you going to pay for that? Or would you like to pay for that? And I said, would you like to pay for anything? She was like, yeah, like, can you name one thing you'd like to pay for? And she was like, no. And I'm like, exactly. You're being prejudiced. And then I walked out, and then right before I walked out, there was an old woman with a white woman with dreadlocks in a Bob Marley hoodie. And I said, I love that hoodie on you. And she went, thank you so much. And everybody in the area was happy. And then I walked away without even looking back at her. I made it, an eighth of a mile up the hill, and then the police are there holding their guns, trying to search me illegally. I recorded them. I don't know if I have the recording on. I don't know if I posted it or if I got to it in time. Saying you can't search me. I don't consent to a search. You have no probable cause. And then they screamed a bunch of nonsense at me, sped off, and then waited at my car. And then my hatchet and my machete from my car went missing. And then I called 5 or 6 different police precincts or departments around Vermont and told them they just tried to search me illegally. They just did a whole lot of questionable clandestine activity for someone that lied. They were being prejudiced against me, and I'm calling you so you all know what happened and to make sure it doesn't happen, because I believe in small towns. I believe that the gossip that people are doing against me is how the towns were built, by gossiping about change that needs to happen. And somewhere along the way, we stopped talking about implementing positive solutions, and these guys degenerated with lead and drugs in their system, sitting in their meaningless, miserable job, fat as fuck, and now all they do is talk shit about what used to be a very positive behavior of talking to each other became this garbage. So I still embody that. I talk to people all the time. I'm always talking about stuff, about positive stuff, and it turns out that's a very Irish thing to do. But for whatever reason, we have a guy named Hank that makes a lot of money going downtown and recording people at what I consider to be the worst moments of my life so far. Being locked in a room, and then the people that say they're going to care about you never show up. Having to fight my father to the death at 14. And then being abused by police over and over and over and over again. Being ostracized and beaten by white America because it's their favorite pastime that is coming back after civil rights made them stop. They found a new way to express that behavior. That's pretty much it. I thought I hated jail. Now I don't mind jail. I thought I hated being outside. Now I don't mind. I like being outside better. Definitely hated pedophiles and creeps. I hate the crows that can feel when I'm daydreaming the positive energy and they come to steal it, and they won't stop until they take it from you. I hate that. As far as that guy goes, I have no idea. But look what I bought today. I spent $20 and I bought this. How much trouble do you think this is going to get me in, because they're going to use it as an excuse, thinking I have a weapon when this is a BB gun. Look, this is a CO2 cartridge. It's $20. And I haven't figured out how to get the magazine to come out yet to load the BBs. I don't know how to load the BBs into this. And I already threw out the manual because that guy was staring at me the whole time. There was a guy that followed me. Oh shit, okay. I figured it out. So it pops out the top. And then I think this is a CO2 cartridge. How are we feeling, guys? We're gonna check on that guy at 6 o'clock. I'll go live again, so you can see the conversation I have with him. I'm not possessed by any demons. I'm not feeling any type of way. It seems like the spell work ate me alive. I had all this beautiful, luscious energy full of beautiful experiences alone out in the forest that caused me to have a unique vibe and perspective. And then white trash from here to Randolph has been coming at me every single day for months now, just to get in the way and ruin it. Pair that with constant crows screaming at you, nobody will hire you, and the cops have qualified immunity, so they play a rigged game where they can be fat as fuck losers with erectile dysfunction that the only way they're getting laid is by either with a wife that fantasizes about guys like me or soliciting sex. Like previously on the channel, someone had mentioned a certain officer that did a excessive use of force on me. Does. Now, I've never opened these in my life, so I don't know how the fuck to do it. Let's put my weapon. Safety on, guys. We're not animals. I'm an animal, but I'm not an animal. You feel me? I'm closer to a bear than a person at this point. This doubles as blue chew if you're me. Okay. So I shouldn't have actually done that. We're gonna put this here and hope that it doesn't fall. Okay. That's good. Okay, pull this back. Who's watching? Safety down. Pull this back. Lift this up to show you it's not a fucking gun. Don't call the police on me. It's not a gun. You load this in. You drop it in. So now you can push the safety a second time. So there's a double safety. Then what should I shoot? Who's here? 4? The gun was because it was $20. And I was trying to get a guitar for a long time and I didn't. The guitar I wanted got sold. And I waited at the post office. I don't think Heather sent the guitar. So this is metal. Can't really shoot it. Let's try to see how loud it is if I shoot the there's a dumpster over there. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it has CO2 in it. It sounds like I probably need to buy CO2. Which fucking sucks, mate, because I really wanted to shoot this tonight. I have another rifle, but I'm not going to walk around with it. It's at 4%. Yeah, so I've had a lot of junkies. We're using junkies now, right? The people on the internet get very mad when you call them dope niggas. You're like, how dare you use the N-word? Or they spell it out and they put all the asterisks. And then they'll say, I just hope these fucking junkies kill themselves. I can't stand seeing them downtown suffering. So I don't call them that to call them that. I say it because I want them to realize. I'm like, in the South, they call them dope niggas. Oh, shit. Yeah, it definitely, this is weak as hell. I don't think that it's supposed to be like that. I think that it's a point, this is 0.177. Something is really wrong here. I mean, it is only $20. But it's 0.177 rounds. 0.177 rounds are literal bullets. There's no reason for it to be this weak, but it is only $20. But there's one you can buy for $100 that will go through a human skull. can I show you the... Yeah, that shit didn't even hit the ground. What the fuck? I shot it at the ground and it went up that way. I think this was a waste of money. I don't think it was. Basically, I've had a lot of people just bum rush me in my tent trying to rape or kill me in the past couple years. So what stopped them the past couple times over by the dollar store is that when they go to open my tent and then the barrel of my rifle was in their face. And I say, don't do anything, back the fuck up, I'm gonna get out of my tent and you're gonna walk away. If you move at all, I'm gonna get it through your eye and you're gonna live the rest of your life like a pirate, you understand? But I said it with more bass and viciousness in my tone because I was going through a lot more. And I didn't say you're gonna live like a pirate, I said you're gonna live with an eye patch. And then I followed him, and then I recorded it for you guys. That was the video of Crackhead. Crackhead tried to rob me. I don't want to waste all my bullets. So we're waiting on 6. I gave that guy a blanket. I didn't talk to him the way I wanted to show you guys how I talk to people, but there's a lot of spell work against me right now. I haven't had a chance to meditate through it. It takes a lot of work to be real. That's why you see everyone's acting crazy, because they time 6 hours, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, the 666. Time has constrained them, so they're living in hell, and they're not able to embody this because they've sold their soul to an employer who's forcing them to be possessed and work for them. So because I'm not there, I have a little bit more freedom, but I'm still technically under the Rothschilds through the birth certificate, and being my body is a trusted vessel for technically owned by a banking system that is the reason that I'm actually able to be cuffed by the police. In order to be cuffed by the police and all this, it's because of something that they did a couple months before you were born. I don't know how you report that. I don't know what part of the system that is. I've never had a child, so I don't know how far along the pregnancy you have to register that you're going to have a kid. But whenever that happens, they take out a lot of money in your name and they use that and leverage that against you, because you will be expected to work for the government for your whole life. So they leverage that labor that you're going to do as currency, and they leverage that in deals with China and Russia, and probably the Rothschilds, and probably reptilians that harvest our life force energy in those jobs. Yeah, I'm shooting everywhere. It's going up a little bit. Anyone want to show up so I can shoot them and see if it works? I'll make a YouTube video about it and I'll pay you whatever they pay me, which is nothing. I am not monetized yet. I'm about 1,500 hours until I'm able to start monetizing. So you guys would have to watch 150 hour-long videos. One of you would have to watch